Hey guys, SaxDude26 here, and today we're doing something different. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been out for just over a week, and through her persistence, my girlfriend has found a yet-to-be-shared and very lucrative method for farming incredibly useful materials. So I will preface, while this can be done at any point in the plot, there will be some minor spoilers in this video. So basically, we're going to farm dragon horns, okay? Okay, cool. To get the most out of this process, there are a few things you will need to have unlocked. The shrines we will be teleporting between are the Shai Uto Shrine in the Faron region, the Shai Loya Shrine on the edge of the Ridgeland region, and the Dao Naya Shrine in the Hateno region. The last of these shrines is only needed if you've also completed the Spring of Wisdom side quest at Jitan Sami Shrine, as it makes Naedra available, and she has been factored into this method. You can spawn the dragons in different locations, however, these are the most convenient in order to get the drops you want. First things first, you'll want to start this process at the beginning of nighttime, 9 PM. This can be done by using a campfire, and we'll be using the cooking pot from the lakeside stable to begin, near the first shrine. And you'll want to have a bow and arrows on you for this. There's a traveler's bow outside the tent you can grab, if you need it, but in the end, powerful bows work the same as basic ones. We want to walk over to the Floria Bridge, to the plank with an X marked in rope. By this point, Farosh the Lightning Dragon should be descending the waterfall, but if she isn't, return to camp and reset to a new night. The suggested method of approaching this is to wait for the updraft in the wind, triggered when the dragon reaches the foot of the falls. As a heads up, she will shoot lightning orbs from her mane as she gets closer, so be very aware that they do target you. This next process is incredibly quick and may require practice. Once the updraft starts, you want to paraglide on the spot and gain maximum altitude as Farosh approaches the bridge. Then, start gliding towards her, being aware of the orbs. When she dips her head towards the lake, draw your bow to trigger the slow motion targeting. Aim at the tip of her horn, and the arrow has the least chance of hitting somewhere else. Resume gliding to preserve your stamina, and very importantly, move away from her and the flurry of lightning orbs. With a safe distance, follow the light trail as the piece drops. With all drops in this method, land as close to the piece as you can and grab it quickly. The less time you spend idle, the less opportunities enemies have to blindside you. So as soon as you can grab the piece, open the map and teleport to the next shrine. Next we'll be going after Dinral, the fire dragon, so we've teleported to the Shai Loya Shrine on the border of Ridgeland and Tabantha. It is worth noting that these dragons can be tracked in whatever order you prefer, but we have found that this order is the most time and material efficient since you won't have to build your own campfire. Glide down towards the Tabantha Bridge stable and run past the bridge, following the edge of the canyon. If you decide to track Dinral first, the cooking pot at this stable acts as a good starting point. Travelling is the longest part of reaching this dragon, but less enemies spawn near the edge of the cliff, making the trip less painful. A word of caution: if you die for whatever reason after spawning a dragon, whether before or after collecting loot, upon reloading they will have both disappeared. If this happens, it is best to consider that dragon a wash and continue the method heading to the next dragon. Sooner or later, you'll be able to see Dinral inside the canyon. Again, practice will help in judging the required distance for your jump, but since all dragons trigger an updraft when close, you can regain altitude if you leap early. In the same way Farosh emits lightning orbs when close, Dinral's head will produce fireballs which behave in the same fashion as you approach her. You'll want to jump off the cliff and start gliding towards her. You should be above her, so try and position yourself in line with or slightly behind her head, and this is when you'll want to drop to her level. Once you're at the same level, slow motion aim the bow at her horn. If you're at the side of her head, aim towards the front of the horn so she moves into the shot. If you're behind her head, aim directly towards her horn, 1/3 of the way down it. As soon as the shot is fired, resume paragliding immediately to avoid her fireballs. In the event that one hits you and doesn't kill you, falling to your death is not inevitable. You can pull out your glider and recover from the attack. Follow the drop and try to land as close to the piece as possible. Once you've collected your drop, after landing as close to it as possible, it's time to teleport to the next shrine, as Stalfos are littered throughout the canyon at night. Teleporting down into the Daonaya Shrine in Hateno, the water dragon Naydra is our next target. As mentioned before, she is entirely optional, requiring a side quest to unlock, but adds an extra drop the method would lack otherwise. Exit through the tunnel to the left of the waterfall, heading towards and climbing the stone pillars. The aim here is that you want to get as high as possible, both to see and track Naydra most effectively. However, if you're unfortunate enough to teleport here into rainy weather, climbing will become much more taxing on your stamina. It is still possible to get roughly halfway up the ruins, but a higher vantage point increases the odds of getting the drop you want. It's worth mentioning that while horns are the ideal drop, the payoff of any dragon piece is worth continuing the method, even if you have to settle for a different piece. And by ideally, I mostly mean that the horn shards, as the rarest drop, are most useful to you, both in selling and upgrading. Hitting other areas of the body will yield different loot. Hitting a dragon in the mouth should produce a fang. Aiming for the feet awards a claw. And any other body hit will result in a dragon scale. By this point, you can probably tell waiting for Naydra requires the most patience out of the three dragons, as her descent down Mount Lanayru is incredibly sluggish. This is the main reason why leaving Naydra until third is most timely, due to her slow descent, and attempting to loot her earlier may throw off the timing for the rest of this method. There's no nearby stable, meaning any attempt to begin here at the appropriate time period will require building a campfire to progress to evening, as was the starter for this entire method. Thus, if you're attempting to preserve materials, it is better to start with a dragon that allows access to a stable. Of course, if you're set on starting with Naydra, be mindful to keep the campfire near the shrine, as being in the same area she spawns may prevent her appearing. Eventually, Naydra will reach the lake beneath the ruins. As with Farosh's descent, wait for the updraft before approaching her, and be mindful again of the orbs she produces. Ice orbs will freeze Link on contact. He will plummet and most likely die if you land on solid ground. Not to mention, Lizalfos are scattered throughout the lake, and they are hard to dodge in water. After paragliding within a comfortable range of her face, aim and fire the bow at the sidemost blue spikes on her head. These are considered her horns and are the only guaranteed point that will drop the correct piece. As before, maintain a safe distance after firing, and follow the piece after it flies off. Keep a close eye on the drop, as they can travel a fair distance, and quite often we have seen the pieces fly out of the ravine onto the opposing cliffside. After collecting a third dragon piece, the method is still not complete. For us, the next step is to teleport back to the Shai Uto Shrine, our starting location for this process. When it comes to repeating this cycle, keep in mind each dragon can only be spawned and shot once within a 24-hour day cycle. By this point, note that the 24-hour period on Farosh has reset, as technically she was last targeted the night before at 9. Since the in-game clock has started a new day, this provides a second opportunity to obtain another dragon piece from her, and the method remains the same as before. Effectively, this means we have a fourth dragon encounter, meaning we can abuse this and properly form the basis of this farming process. We have now obtained 4 dragon pieces in total by taking advantage of Farosh respawning. But there is still another dragon we looted before midnight, so again we quickly teleport. Returning to the Shailoya Shrine, and making our way past the Tabantha Bridge stable once more, we can find Dinral flying through the canyon for a second time. Key note, if you spawn a dragon after midnight and shoot it, it cannot be spawned again until the start of the following day. However, if you spawn a dragon before midnight and shoot it after the start of a new day, that dragon can be spawned a second time. Making the lengthy trek along the cliffside again, we can find the fire dragon and obtain our 5th loot of the run. By this point, the pattern has ended and all 3 dragons have returned to sleep until the next 24-hour day. So here we are, back again at the Shayuto Shrine and the Lakeside Stable. And through tracking 3 elemental dragons across Hyrule in one night, we have managed to obtain 5 drops of rare, versatile materials to use on our quest, not only for upgrading our equipment, but also for high resale value for rupees and mon. Overall, this method takes about 12 to 15 minutes to obtain all 5 drops. Since each dragon horn sells for 300 rupees, your best outcome is a horn from all 5 encounters. If you stop by the Fang and Bone, the same drops will sell for 150 mon each. Also, for clothing that require dragon pieces to upgrade, this process gives you a reliable means to farm the materials you require to improve certain armor. Keep in mind that since Farush and Dinral were farmed a second time on that morning, sleeping until nighttime will not actually reset the dragons properly, as it is technically still the same day. So, to continue this method anew, you will need to reset tonight at the cooking pot twice. Once to end the current day, and a second time to reset on to the next night. If your starting dragon still isn't showing up, reset the night again until they do. What makes this method useful is that it requires very little equipment to perform. And while there are other methods for farming rupees and mon that can be utilized, we hope that this additional method can provide a process that anyone playing can try and use. So for myself and my girlfriend, thanks for watching, we hope this video was informative, and happy hunting! This has been Saxu26 and I'll see you next time.